Man, the Western Conference happens to be an absolute gauntlet right now, per usual. I mean, the 5th through 8th seed are literally tied in record, having an identical record of 46-32, 5th owned by the LA Clippers, 8th owned by the Memphis Grizzlies, and that probably will change in the near future here. Or then going up to the 3rd seed, owned by your Los Angeles Lakers, only 2 games ahead of the 5th seed. So if you want to finish at the top, which Lakers are definitely trying to do, shown by their dominant performance and very good effort against OKC the other day, they definitely are playing well and you gotta play that well to finish at the top. So with that in mind here, what have the Lakers been doing, how have they been executing at this level, and are they finally putting it all together? We'll talk about that and break it all down. But before we get too far into it, don't forget to check out G2A.com. They got your best new games like Monster Hunter Wilds, PC software, gaming gift cards, and much more. You can check them out in the video description down below. But now getting back to our topic, and like I mentioned, the Lakers are definitely playing well right now. It's been an up and down past month for them, but they're finally putting it all together, kind of, and they might be able to maintain that over the long haul. And well, the reason I say kind of is from the fact that they've had an up and down past 10 games now. Definitely a great past 5 games, going 4-1 in that time frame, but then 5-5 in their past 10, having some great games like last night, or yesterday rather, against the OKC Thunder, but also a few blunders along the way, like getting absolutely dominated by the Chicago Bulls, dropping that game by about 30, then their rematch with them, coming down to the wire and ultimately a game-winning half-court shot by Josh Giddey, having a few games like that, but then also beating a team like Houston, even with all 3 of their big 3 quote-unquote, having a pretty poor game, kind of relying on their role players and pretty much their defense to beat a pretty elite opponent. And well, that kind of tells you about their team, what they can do when they're locked in and all playing together, even from a lackluster performance from 1, 2, or even pretty much all 3 of their big 3. It's very telling about what they can do on the court, and especially if all 3 of those guys play well and their defense plays well with them, which is pretty much what we got from them in their last game against OKC. It finally all came together for them. All 3 of LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves played incredibly well, combining for 69 points, all 3 of them nearly shooting above 50% from the field. That would have been the first time that happened, and it would have happened if not for a last miss by Austin Reeves. Their defense playing absolutely tremendous, holding OKC to under 100 points, the 3rd time that's happened all season now, holding them to a very low free throw count, not even letting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to the free throw line 1 time, the 1st time that's happened all season, holding them to only 43% from the field, 32% from beyond the arc, all around a great defensive game, with an absolutely elite 3-point shooting performance to go with it. So yeah, definitely one of their best, if not the best games of the entire year, and if they can replicate that, they could definitely go pretty far in the postseason. And well, I think the first thing we gotta talk about and point out here does happen to be Luka Doncic. I mean, with the way that some fans were talking about him throughout the past week and really throughout the past month now, this was definitely a much needed game from him against an elite opponent. Luka absolutely destroying their defense, their number 1 rated defense in the entire league at that, taking advantage of their switches, taking advantage when they blitz him, getting to the rim pretty much at will, and pretty much destroying the OKC defense. So yeah, nothing wrong with the guy, definitely ready for them in the playoffs or probably any other team at that. And the methodical way in which he attacked them and their entire team attacked the OKC defense was very impressive to watch. So let's start with Luka Doncic here. And from the very start, their team, and really Luka Doncic in particular, made it a point to attack OKC switching on him. I mean, if they're going to let Isaiah Hartenstein switch onto him, then yeah, he's definitely going to attack him, much like he did on this play for example, attacking Isaiah Hartenstein after a switch between him and Chet Holmgren, taking him off the dribble, hitting him with a step back, and with Hartenstein too late to close out, Luka's going to hit that more often than not, much like he did on this play. Or then the very next time down the court for them, here we have Austin Reeves switching onto Hartenstein, and Hartenstein's unable to keep up with him, Austin taking him under the basket, onto the other side, hitting him with a half-spin mid-range fadeaway, knocking the shot over him, and once again making it a point to not switch on their guards, which Hartenstein was not able to do all game long. And then again later in the first quarter, here we have Hartenstein switch onto Luka Doncic once again, and well, unfortunately for him, it did not work out too well. Luka once again taking advantage of him off the dribble, hitting a shot over him, and making it a point not to switch onto him. And well, after that point, and rightfully so, OKC kind of conceded defeat in not letting Hartenstein switch onto Luka. Rather than letting that happen again, they blitzed him, having a blitz between Hartenstein and Lou Dort here. Actually a pretty good blitz, but Luka's an absolute mastermind at getting out of a blitz, finding the open man, and he once again does that here. They try to blitz him and force him into a half-court violation, but he gets it over the top to Jordan Goodwin. Goodwin finds a cutting Rui Hachimura, and Hachimura finishes at the rim with absolute no rim protection there available, as Hartenstein's currently at half-court trying to blitz Luka Doncic. So even with OKC throwing pretty much everything they could at Luka defensively, he found a way around it, found a way to take advantage of it, and it left them pretty clueless on the court too. And here's quickly what Luka had to say about it.
Luka, it felt like you guys really dictated the terms offensively and made them into a more switch-heavy team, and then eventually they started to kind of blitz a bit, and then you guys were picking them apart. What does that say about the ceiling for this group offensively as going up against the league's best defense? You're able to kind of control the game that way.
Yeah, I think we're the best, when they blitz. It's, I would say, easy basketball 4-on-3. I mean, obviously it's not easy, but, we just kind of worked on that, and we saw that since I've been here, we've been getting better and better in that. So I think today the ball was moving, and we were getting a lot of open shots, and that's what we need to do moving forward.
I mean, Luka pretty much said it perfectly there. Attacking with a blitz on defense if you want and if you dare, but more often than not, he'll be pretty comfortable with that and will allow them to play 4-on-3 offensively, which they were able to do against OKC, and that's probably the best blitzing team in the entire league. So after that point, they went away from that and went into more of a drop coverage with Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein, not switching as much, hedging a little bit, but more so staying in that drop coverage. And that right there is something that a guy like Austin Reeves definitely can and will take advantage of too, much like he did during the second quarter. After Luka Doncic left the game, it then became the LeBron and Austin Reeves show, and Austin wasted no time attacking that drop coverage. Right in their first possession of the second quarter, here we have a pick and roll between him and Jared Vanderbilt, taking Casey Wallace out of the play, trying to bring Chet Holmgren up if he would switch, but he stays in that drop coverage, and even with his incredible length, that's not enough time to get up there and contest, which Austin takes advantage of, simply going around the screen and not even that quickly, getting his feet set, taking the three-point shot in front of Chet Holmgren, which again, there's simply too much space between him and Austin for him to get up there and contest, and that leads to Austin knocking down the three-point shot. And well, then once again a few plays later, here we have another high pick and roll between Austin and Jared Vanderbilt, once again attacking the drop coverage of Chet Holmgren, who you can see sitting back here in the drop, once again attacking Casey Wallace and kind of forcing him to defend on an island here, which he does actually pretty well, fighting around two different Vanderbilt screens, getting a good contest on Austin, who pulls up from about 28 feet, and despite him being in rhythm, that's not typically advised, but with them trying to attack the drop coverage and get Chet Holmgren out of it, they're going to live with the shot here, and Austin definitely did reward them for it. And not only that, but made OKC look foolish for remaining in their drop coverage, because later on it came around to haunt them again. Here we have Luka Doncic attacking the drop coverage, with a high pick and roll between him and Jackson Hayes. They're not switching, Lou Dort's not able to fight over it, Chet's staying in that drop coverage, and that gives Luka a wide open three-point shot, which he once again makes them pay for. Now there's obviously no guarantee they'd make the shots like that every game, but then again, if you attack them the same way defensively, and let them attack your defense the same way repetitively, then yeah, they're probably going to gain a rhythm eventually, especially for a guy like Luka Doncic. If you're switching onto him with a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein, then yeah, he's going to take advantage of that and probably take advantage of it pretty easily 9 times out of 10. Or even for a drop coverage, whether you're talking about Austin, Luka, or LeBron, they're definitely going to take advantage of that. And like I said, if you then combine that with a great defensive game for them, which they obviously had in this one, holding OKC to 99 points, not letting a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander go off against them, not letting him get a single free throw, and then Austin, LeBron, and Luka playing well, then for the final cherry on top, their bench unit, and more specifically, Dorian Finney-Smith and Gabe Vincent playing well, obviously shooting well, knocking down 8 3-point shots and very efficient at that, 4-12 from beyond the arc. They're going to be nearly impossible to beat, and they showed that in this game. Now, can they do that every single game? Probably not, or not quite to that level. I think that would be nearly impossible. But showing it against a team like OKC, who despite narratives did have something to play for yet, still trying to lock up the #1 seed in the NBA overall, not having it locked up against Cleveland, nor Boston quite yet, So yes, they have something to play for, and we're trying to win that game, which they'll obviously try and do again tomorrow night. But showing that what they're capable of, trying to play at a playoff type level, and obviously the Lakers are going to replicate that when the playoffs come, I think that's a pretty damn good sign for their team going forward. But with all of that being said, what do you guys think? How did you feel about this game and what the Lakers showed in it, and how they can maybe or maybe not replicate it going forward? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.